Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here with us. Today is Monday, April 21st, 2025. My name is Councilman Amilcar Hernandez, and I would like to call this hybrid public hearing of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development 5-year Consolidated Annual Action Plan for CDBG, ESG, HOPWA, and Home Grant Programs to order. The Annual Action Plan addresses the intended use of HUD-supported entitlement grant funds under the 4 formula programs covered in the city's 5-year consolidated plan. Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS, HOPWA, Emergency Solutions Grant, ESG, and the Housing Investment Partnership Program, HOME. The City of Hartford will submit its annual action plan July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026 to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development on or around May 15, 2025. The city's draft consolidated plan is posted on the Central Grants Department website since April 11, 2025, with a link in the City of Notices Home, City of Hartford, and will be available for at least 30 days for review and comment. That will be from April 12, 2025 through May 12, 2025. The plan is also available at the Hartford Public Library, Park Street, and Albany branches. The annual action plan allocations will be posted tomorrow, Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025 on the Central Grants Departmental website. All allocations are subject to adoption by the Hartford Court of Common Council and release of funds from HUD. These proposed activities and allocations will be posted on the Central Grants Departmental website. Any inquiries pertaining to the Neighborhood Assistance Program, please contact Cheryl Horowitz, Director of the Office of Central Grants Administration at 860-757-9276 or via email at cheryl.horowitz@hartford.gov. This public hearing is live on HPA-TV's Xfinity Government Channel 96, Frontier Government Channel 6032. It will also be streamed via HPA-TV.org, the HPA-TV Facebook page, and will be made available on the HPA-TV YouTube channel. I will now refer to the rules. Public hearings should be conducted in accordance with the following procedures. Each person wishing to address the council or committee thereof shall, upon recognition by the presiding officer, give his or her name, address, and if he or she represents a group, and shall in addition state for the record the name and address of said group or organization, and shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes. This evening, my colleague Councilman Gale will be keeping track of the time, so please keep an eye for that clock. Once it hits the 5 minutes, that will be your time will be over at that point. During the public hearing, there should be no debate by the council, although questions may be asked by the council to persons making such presentation. I would like to introduce my fellow colleagues present here this evening. On the screen, we have Councilwoman Mali Rosado. To my left, we have Councilman George Micton, Councilman John Gale. And to my right, we have Council President Shirley Surgeon. I would like to give the floor to Ms. Cheryl Horowitz for her presentation.
Councilman Amilcar, Kelly's also on, Councilwoman Biladu is also on the screen.
Councilwoman Biladu is also on the screen. Thank you.
Good evening, Council President, Surgeon, and other council members. Thank you. So I am going to be quicker than I have been for any of the prior years that I've been here because we have a lot to do and a lot of people talking. These slides, they're here. They will be posted on the website as well, as Councilman Hernandez said. And we are available by phone, by email, in my office. And at the end of the slides, there are the people that are in my office that can field a number of these phone calls as well. Okay, so. It doesn't want to advance.
Ms. Horowitz, can you put the microphone closer to you? Because the folks on the screen cannot hear you.
Okay.
The microphone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so okay. So this is a little bit of an overview, but basically what you need to know here is that every 5 years is a new time. It's 5 years of which we're going to plan for what the funding that we get from HUD, what we do with that funding. And this year is that planning year, and we spent it in a lot of meetings, and you'll see in a second, and trying to find out what it is that the residents of Hartford want to see in their city with respect to the things that HUD actually funds and continues with. So, this is what the draft plan looks like. As we said, it's online, it's in libraries, and basically what it does is it goes through and in various sectors and sections and in areas that are defined by HUD, it asks and looks at what do we have available, what are our funding resources, and what would you want, what does the city want to do with it? City meaning its residents. So we have anticipated resources. We don't know what they are right now. That's the problem with what's going on. We are obligated to submit something once we do get it in, so we're poised and trying to work as well as we can to the point where if we hear tomorrow what that funding is, within a matter of a week or so, we should be able to, or within a good short period of time, be able to submit this. This is all based on resident input during this process and after this process. This part of this meeting is to hear from residents or from people that are applying for these funds and to hear what the needs are, and we are obligated and want to be able to insert all of that into the plan that we have. So if we hear things contrary and different from what we have already heard, we will be putting it in the plan so that it can be made known. So this consolidated plan is a collaborative effort. It's an effort between the city, between the residents, human service agencies, housing providers, community-based organizations, economic development entities, and the city departments. And they all come together through public meetings, through stakeholder consultations, through community-wide surveys, and through existing plans and relevant statistical data, which we have compiled. Okay, so now citizen participation is a key part of this process, and as I was just saying, we have tried to do as best we can. We always can do better. We are trying to do better every single year. This year, because it is the consolidated plan, we've already had 4 meetings. This is the 4th meeting with the public. 2 were in January. Actually, 2, 3, 4, there are 5 meetings. 2 in January, 1 in February, 1 last week in April, and another tonight. And we will be, as I said, looking forward to any feedback between now and the time, the 12th, when we will submit, and we will take any feedback during that time. Written, oral, whatever. The draft plan, as we said, saying it again, is on the website in various places. It is a timely submission. In years past, we have been delayed in when we have gotten this report to HUD, and as a result of that, the funding that we were allocated has been delayed. We are trying to, even in this year when we don't know when that funding is coming available, we are still trying to abide by the timing and get this in as soon as possible so that once that money is released, we can respond to it. This is about the eligibility, and normally and mostly we respond to the benefiting low and moderate income persons in Hartford, and that's where our monies go. This slide shows you, and I'm not going to go into it in detail, but this shows you the results of some of those meetings, of all of the meetings, the consults, the survey that we did, the meetings to public events that we went to, and this is kind of what has come out of that, that we see as priorities for the citizens of Hartford for the coming 5 years. I'm going to let you read that on your own through the slides and on the website and in the report. So as you can see, just to go back, housing, economic development, neighborhood revitalization, 3 big focus areas, public services, which is a large part of the response that we're getting here tonight, more than likely, public facilities and infrastructure, public parks, open space, and riverfront. And each of these bullet points were points that were raised in these consultations with people in the community at various events and various venues. The result of what we are here tonight to do is mainly part of the annual action plan. So each year of the consolidated plan, there is an annual action plan. And this year, we do both. We do the 5-year report and we do the first-year annual action plan. And basically for the residents, what that looks like mostly is the process of RFPing to find out which of the agencies in the city have projects that have been successful in the past or are proposed to be important in the future, and then we receive those applications and we respond to them and we evaluate them. Every year we try to make it better. It's never perfect. We try our hardest to respond to feedback that we get about it, but they're always ongoing. And this year, we changed the application to try to mimic what the scope of work is, because that's so important to us to form a contract quickly after we do those awards. So we tried to frame the application more like that. We try to make things as simple as possible, but we're not always on top of it. There are always better things that we could be doing. In the evaluation, as a HUD grantee, we are responsible for selecting subrecipients that do 2 things mainly, that align with the national objectives that we just talked about and deliver effective programs to the community. Okay, so the definition is, what is an effective program? And there's a lot of different ways to look at it, but HUD looks at some of those things, and so one of the basic categories of that is that the agencies that efficiently manage their funds and submit timely documentation of the spending outcomes and show stewardship of HUD's resources are the ones that we are asked to provide resources to. Okay, so the ones that will spend the monies efficiently, abide by the rules, those are the ones that HUD wants us to fund. The city is at risk of losing present and future funding when subrecipients do not have administrative and fiscal capacity to execute and deliver on their programs, and this includes inadequate or inaccurate documentation of expenditures and incomplete beneficiary data and accomplishments. I cannot tell you how important this is, but I do understand the world that you operate in, and it's slightly different than the world that I am operating in. So, we don't know what the funding is right now. We're making assumptions on it, and that assumption is that we had a 3% decrease from last year, so we're assuming we're going to get a decrease of about 3% this year. We could be pleasantly surprised. We're hoping that we are. We're hoping that we aren't, axed really any more than that. What you can see, though, from this chart is that in the past, the percent change from 22 to 25 has been 5% decrease on CDBG, 23% on the home program, and 6% on HOPWA and 2% on ESG. So it has been going down, and what we're hoping is that that somehow can get quelled and not increased over time. If, in fact, the awards differ by more than 20%, it's actually 25%, between what we're projecting we're getting and what we actually get, we're going to have to come back to the table again and redo this. That's just a stipulation in our citizen participation plan that any change of more than 25% calls us back to the table to reassess what we're doing. Okay, so this is just a quick look, and I'm not going to go over it now, but this is some of how we do our calculations. It starts with what the CDBG allocation is, and it goes into other funds that get contributed to pieces of it. It's very, very complicated. And then this is some of the obligations that the mayor has asked to have going forward and have mirrored obligations that have gone on in the past for funds that have been used for various city purposes. This is what the allocations look like this year. This is what the landscape of applications looked like. Public service, we got 30 applications, and the request to available funds was 2.5 to 1, or twice as, 2.5 times as many amount of money was requested than what we have. And the same is true of the, not the same amount, but the same is true of non-public service, that we had requests for 1.5 times the amount that we actually have to distribute. So choices have to be made. Basically, what we do here is we're trying to fund in meaningful ways, not to give token amounts, but to actually give enough money that the program can have a meaningful effect, and that's kind of where our strategy comes. So that's basically it for now. I will just quickly tell you that there are a number of slides after this that you can look at, and they speak to new HUD regulations. You might have heard some on the news. You might have heard things like on how we frame things that deal with gender or sex, but there's also other things that we have to put in our contracts that have been made clear to us, changes that have been made, such as, for example, a whistleblower policy, which had never been in the contracts before, and now they are requiring a whistleblower clause in there. And let's see. And also, so that's the whistleblower, and just the fact that we will be doing more monitoring than we have done in the past, because this is really a requirement to make sure that we can provide services and provide the kind of TA and feedback to our grantees so that they can better comply to HUD's processes. And this is just a slide of our staff, of all the staff, and again, they're on the slides, and the slides are uploaded. So, questions or on?
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Horowitz. Can you stop sharing so I can see my colleagues on the screen?
Okay, and
Thank you, Ms. Horowitz, for your presentation. I'd like to now refer to my council colleagues for any questions. I'll start with
stop sharing. Yep.
I'll start with the on the screen. I'm gonna call out names, and then if you have any questions, this will be the time. Councilman Thomas, do you have any questions?
Maybe you hear me? Sorry about that. Hello?
Yeah, we barely hear you.
Sorry about that. I'm in a bad location, but I just want to say I'll follow up with the question through email. Thank you for the presentation.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you well. I'm gonna move on now. System Majority Leader Clark. Okay. All right, if there are, I'll come back. Councilwoman Bilodeau, any questions?
No, I'd just like to say thank you for the presentation, but no questions from me.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say, Cheryl, thank you for your presentation, and I also want to thank your team, as always, for a great job. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councilman Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Ms. Horowitz and the team for the presentation. You mentioned, I know you mentioned the whistleblower requirements and also different requirements about reporting gender and sex. Can you elaborate on, what does that mean?
oh, it means that we will be scrutinized for language in our contracts that basically ask for DEI or say we're going to focus on DEI, and particularly the new HUD secretary feels like there are only two sexes, and that if there's any more language on variations on such, that they will strike that language or ask for those projects not to be funded.
And is there, I'm going to assume that the approach is simply going to be to modify the language to not raise alarms and then to continue to be able to provide the kind of services that the city has always valued. Is that fair to say?
Could you say that again?
You're talking about language. I'm assuming that there's not going to be any attempt by you in the doing of this actually to impose the bigotry of the federal government on the people of Hartford.
No. As a matter of fact, most of this is really not about us. It is about our partners. And what we do, and what I did at the very beginning when this started, because I had people coming to me, I had agencies coming to me, what do? Our scope is about a population that is verboten, that is not. And so what I did was to just suggest, and I did not, say that they had to, but to really just broaden that language out. If you could say the same thing without using the term, that then go ahead and do it. Because in fact, if it's still true that you are serving that population, even though there's a subset of that population that might, do it. And I did see that happening, but I would not tell anybody. And the other thing is that I don't know if it was an idle threat or if truly they're going to AI everything that we do and just find those proposals.
So that actually gets to my next question. We heard from some other department heads over the last, hearings that there's been sort of a new level of uncertainty from the federal government just in terms of all kinds of when will grants come? Will they come? How much will they come? Are you, beyond this concrete change in language, are you in contact with other cities? Are you hearing that we may also on this line of HUD funding be in for wildness?
So we're part of a professional organization that does a lot of they're not really a lobbying organization, but they have their finger on the pulse of what's going on through the government. And not to say that that's helped us so much, because a lot of times we get very contradictory kinds of messages, So one of the things that we heard was that this round of funding was going to be flat funded. I chose to take a 3% because last year they said we were flat funded and we got a 3% cut, so I'm just assuming. When it comes to the timing of it, so they seem to be confident. They are sending messages out that we will be getting this funding. I am very conservative on this, not on a lot of other things, but on this, I'm just not willing to kind of be that confident. So that's why I have the language that I'm saying to you. But I do have more confidence that we will get funding this round, and a lot less confidence because they are saying that HUD funding might be cut drastically. But that won't be till the next year, and hopefully a lot of things can happen between now and then.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilman Gill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You mentioned in your remarks that the organizations that are recipients of this funding have certain requirements, reporting requirements, to demonstrate that they are using the funds in accordance with the HUD guidelines and federal policy, and that if they fail to provide these reports back to us, back to the city, so we have them available, that there's some danger there in losing the funding. And I'm assuming that when you scored the various groups, you also mentioned we got a scorecard, and we've seen it, and the public doesn't necessarily know this, but every one of the organizations that's sought grant funding through this program has been given a score on a 0 to 100 scale, where 100 would be an A++, and a 60 would be an F. So I'm assuming that score is taking into account their past performance as to whether they have been good at doing some of this reporting. I don't think you have a separate indication for us anyway as to those entities that have been particularly bad at reporting.
Yeah, we don't, we are trying to operate on kind of objective data. The application itself, if you look, and you have access to it, you can see the different sections in it. And some of those sections are explicitly about, have we funded you in the past? And what happened as a result of that. We stuck with the outcomes, what are your outcomes from those things? But we have not, as systematically as we might want to, really penalized any of our subrecipients for performance that is not up to par. We can do that, we could do that, we know about it, but in this application process and in this review process, we stuck with things that we could be consistent with everybody, that they would provide us with the data of it rather than us basically evaluating them about it. But it's gotten to the point where we might want to think about doing that. And let me tell you why we haven't done it. Because one of our obligations through HUD is to be the teacher, to not, when various groups come to us, some come with huge war chests of funding from, national level things, or with just a lot of fundraising capability. And others come to us being 1 or 2 people running small programs. And so it's it's hard to kind of compare apples and oranges. But what we try to do is, and we've tried to do this as an ongoing thing, is that when we get materials back on a drawdown, that's basically one of the easiest ways that we find information. When we look at that, we see this person is not understanding how to do X, and then we provide TA, and we send them back. And so what we've tried to do is to teach and not punish people, and we've learned a lot in the process of doing it. We put aside last year, and we still have much of it left, $100,000 to pay for training internally in the city, departments that get some of the funding, and to train our own staff, to make sure our own staff are up to speed on all of the regulations, but also to train and to help the nonprofits that we work with, to provide them with some of the tools and skills that they might need to be able to comply at the level that is needed.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Just so we can clarify the record, you mentioned if the funding is 25% or more, you will have to kind of come back to the table, but your presentation says 20%, so which is it?
It's 25. I had to check because it's written in the citizen participation plan, and we've changed that plan, and I just found the most up to date, and it says 25. So
Okay, so 25 it is. That's I just wanted to clarify. Council President Surgeon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Cheryl, for a great presentation. And if you would send us the remaining slides that have all the requirements,
absolutely,
that would be
Yeah.
great. In your presentation, when you did your consolidated plan, one of the focus was on housing. That was the feedback on the housing piece, right?
Yeah, on affordable housing was mainly, and also on bringing the quality of the stock up to a level.
Yeah.
So,
So with those feedback from housing development, neighborhood revitalization, and all those community feedback for the consolidated plan, how did that information translate to the applications that you're receiving for funding?
of course, there's a timing issue. So it's, in a way, we just finished the consolidated plan on April 11th, and so the ability to have used it for this year's money it's a little bit off base, but what's happened is that the plan is 5 years. So even if this year's proportions are not what we would want them to be, because we saw that housing was a much more high priority need, we have 4 years to make that up. We have 4 years to shift that funding so that more funding goes to the housing. Typically, we don't have many CDBG projects, except for there's one bucket of money called the Hartford Preservation Loan Fund, which is all PI monies, by the way, and that is used. Then there's a couple of organizations that do emergency repairs on houses. That would also be part of that same bucket. So there were a number of things that we saw. We also fund Urban League for housing counseling and things like that. And then there's a number of other programs in there that were dealing with tenants and landlords and things like that. And so that would also be considered part of that housing bucket. So it's not as little as you think it is, but knowing that it is so important, we can work towards that. I mean, we have to send the message out to agencies if they're not applying, to say, let's find some more agencies that are working on this. Oh, and the other thing that we are funding is energy efficiency improvements.
Yeah, I
So-
saw that, yeah. One of the things you also said in your presentation is that they're going to be looking for your department to do more monitoring.
For,
Monitoring.
monitoring, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So I'm wondering, your staffing, are you ready for additional monitoring that is going to be required?
Okay, so this gives me the great opportunity to introduce the person to my left.
Okay.
And Angelique is our newest member of our team, and she comes from HHS, and she was in the Ryan White space for many, many years. She's been here for 20 years. And Angelique is just a master of monitoring and understanding contract compliance. And so it's just like, she's training me more than I think than I am training her in terms of her knowledge of things. And she is a senior project manager. And so we're prepared to go in and start doing things in a more intensive way than we have in the past.
And so with all the new requirement, the DEIs and whatever else they're asking for, so when you change your award letter, or whatever you do, when the decision is done, all those requirements are going to be in the award to the recipients?
So we do give a kind of a double type of notification. One is the simple award letter that says you will award, how much it's for, and so forth. And then there's an addendum letter, and the addendum letter usually goes into any of the differences between last year and this year. And so those things would be in there, but, as we were just talking about it, I would not want to make that mandatory, because I would not want to be telling people how they need to run their programs and compromise it, just that they would need to know what the risk of doing that is.
And one of those risks is elimination of funding.
The risk is that the monies could be taken back at the level of the project, at the level of the activity, but it also could be, and we have seen this, that it could be taken back just en masse. It could be you are not in compliance with the way HUD wants to run its programs. Clearly, you're not a good steward of these monies because you're not telling people, you know, what they can't do in this intense. I don't know. I'm not going to go there. There's just a lot of dark places that I'm not willing to go yet.
One of my last question is to do with, over the years, the cash flow of most of these small organizations, you know, when they're getting their drawdown and their funding. Have that improved over the last couple of years?
Yes, it has improved. Is it where I would like it to be? And is it where HUD wants it to be? No. And we have been trying so many different strategies. And, you know, and some of it, I will say it's just, oh, like I got an email today, you know, and it was, I am so sorry, but so-and-so left our organization, so-and-so is on vacation, so-and-so is whatever, and we're not going to be able to get your drawdown in. We had asked that everybody get in the third quarter drawdown by April 18th, or actually April 20-something, because on May 3rd, HUD will do the timeliness report, and we will not pass. It is just a fact. And this is the second year that it will not pass. And we are hoping, because there's a little clause in there that says that if the reasons that you are not passing have anything to do with things out of your control, then they will take that. And I am very conscientiously trying to think about things that would make it out of our control. Not the least of which is that there was a period of time when I literally had people coming to the office and saying, are you sure that there's money to cover my drawdown? And at that time, it was when everybody was saying the monies are stopped, they're frozen, nobody can get anything, and I couldn't say 100% that they would be getting that money. I'm going to play on that as much as I can. And then, you know, there are other reasons. We've given monies to projects that require construction, that the question is, will that money cover everything that's in our project, or will the cost of steel have jumped twice as much that I will never get a quote for doing X or Y that requires steel?
So could we ask going forward, and again, I think that deadline is maybe the third quarter drawdown for the organizations that are not in compliance? So at least, you know, before the next year CDBG starts all over again, we have an idea of what organizations are not following the requirements that are laid out for us.
Yes,
So
we
if
do
we can
track
get that, you know, in advance.
Oh, yeah, we are tracking that now very closely because of needing that. I don't know exactly what we're doing, but if you are interested in
Yeah.
that information, we absolutely have it for now. I probably prefer to give it to you maybe next week, beginning of next week or so.
That'd be great if we could
Okay.
get that. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. No other questions from council members? Okay. Seeing none. What we're going to do now, we're going to move on and take the, hear from the public that's here, and I'm going to be calling them in the order that they sign up. You have, just remember that you have up to 5 minutes, no more than 5. You could use less, but no more than 5. The first name that I'm calling is Shelby Young.
Be Young, and I'm the board chair of International Hartford. I would like at this time for all the people that's here that's representing International Hartford to just stand up. I just want to make sure everybody on the city sees the impact that we have on our members, and we're really appreciative of them coming out to support us. Thank you. International Hartford supports fostering immigrants and minority businesses, small businesses. And what is important about International Hartford, the most important thing is that it's the language. We have what we call English language, and I spoke on this last year. And we have the Spanish language, but we also have the business language and the paper language. And what makes this organization so different is that we are sharing an understanding of how the language of the business works and how the paper language can impact them, because the paper language can be a barrier, an actual barrier, and it is. When you come to this country, there's no one there saying, let me explain to you what a W-2 is, let me explain to you what a 1099 is, what quarterly reports are. I'm a small business, I understand, because I was raised in America, in the United States. But when you come here, or you're a small business or minority, you really don't have that luxury, because you weren't really part at the dinner table at your house creating this language. So I want to, first of all, make sure that we understand that. International Hartford also makes sure that we show our immigrants and our underserved communities respect. We let them understand, we see the difference in culture and why it's important to explain it. It's like a mapping, like a transferring of understanding of language. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. I also want to go over some of our accomplishments. Fostering immigrants and minority enterprise. Our fiscal year 24-25 accomplishments. Site identification, renovations, and financing of 6 restaurants on Albany Avenue, Park Street 2, State House Square, Weatherfield Avenue, and New Britain Avenue. And I'm sure these businesses not necessarily would be able to have been started without our support. Support of 3 food manufacturers, Love Lane, Bartholomew Avenue, Brown Street, $170K in foundation finance microgrants to 25 minority-owned businesses for equipment, marketing, $350,000 loan to restore burnt-out apartment building on Hamilton Avenue, supported rehab and mixed-use buildings on Albany Avenue. Financial education of 65 minority heads of households. Incubated businesses of 16 food trucks. Launched 20 minority-owned businesses, creating jobs for residents and adding to the city property tax base. Served 250 clients per year. And what we're building is not just expanding on the economy, but we're also creating legacy wealth. And that is what we want to do. Currently, the CDBG funding is giving us $115,000. Our ask this year is $125,000 for the very reasons why the lady spoke of. $10K of which will go to our new deportation program to be explained by Art. Our current budget is $560,000. I'm hoping that we take into account the understanding of how important International Hartford is, because there's nothing like it anywhere that's not only helping to expand on the economy, but also to help expand on generational wealth in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next to speak, Art Philman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and council people who are here and council people who are viewing us. There was some discussion earlier about changes in federal policy and the effect of those changes on this program and on the business owners of the city. We have been historically the primary business support and counselor and financier for the immigrant entrepreneurs in the city. A majority of our clients are green card holders. A percentage of them are not eligible for green cards. And so we are very, very concerned, but we're more than concerned because there's a lot of people who are concerned about what's happening at the federal level. But we're proposing tonight, and what we are announcing tonight, is a new program to help immigrant business owners who either business or homeowners who are at risk of deportation to protect their assets. We're calling it our Asset Protection Project. I want to read to you from a column by Ezra Klein this Saturday in the New York Times. If those of you may have it, see it at your seat there. The emergency is here. The crisis is now. It is not. We do not have to await months away Supreme Court decisions. It is not another court ruling away. It is happening right now. And the last thing he said is, Mr. Trump has said all plainly and publicly he intends to send away those people beyond the reach of the U.S. whom he does not care for, and he intends to send them because he doesn't like them and he doesn't respect them, and this is the emergency. Like it or not, it's here. Well, we hear that. We know that our business owners are coming to us for help. 21% of the city's population, close to 25,600 people, are immigrants in Hartford. Among them, 46% of them are deportable. It includes 17% of immigrants who have temporary status and 29% who do not have temporary status nor permanent status. Many immigrants, including most international Hartford clients, hold green cards. Green cards are revocable at the whim of an administration. In Metro Hartford, nearly 1,600 business owners are at risk of immediate deportation, including at least 250 in the city of Hartford. These individuals may have to abandon close to 1,000 owner-occupied homes in the city of Hartford. This will lead to widespread job losses, shrink the tax base, and most important, leave commercial corridors and residential neighborhoods pockmarked with vacancies. 28% of neighborhood retail stores in Hartford are owned by immigrants. So what do we propose to do about it? And we have to do it yesterday, because these people are, ICE is at the Mercado, they are at Hartford Hospital, they are at UConn now, taking people away. So we need to get up and running and help these people plan, because the plans that we need to make can't be implemented instantly. There are documents to be signed, there are trusts to be drafted, there are business agreements that need to be written or changed, and we need to do it, as I said, we need to do it yesterday. International Hartford proposes to apply its expertise, its networks, and the hard-won trust of at-risk immigrants to teach and help implement these legal strategies for asset protection. And although the rhetoric nationally targets Latino immigrants, we know from those of us who live in Hartford, where the largest population of immigrants are West Indian, that all the statistics that I talked about in terms of different people's statuses apply to West Indians as well. I'm not going to go through every element of the program that we are going to launch. We're going to launch orange cards, just like the red cards people have to know their rights. The orange cards will tell business owners and homeowners what their rights are. We're going to have a financial record template so people can organize their records and turn it over to somebody or themselves when they're away. We're going to have bilingual website pages with all the information, an extensive menu of legal and practical options. All right, I guess that's my time. Just to conclude, there is nowhere else for these individuals to turn. Hartford homeowners and business owners who are at risk of deportation. They have invested their money, labor, and reputation over many years to build businesses, purchase, and own homes. As the column says, this is the emergency. Like it or not, it's here.
Thank you. Next to speak, Kevin Murray.
Good evening to the City Council body. Kevin Murray, 201 Terry Road, Hartford, Connecticut, business owner, 326 Sargent Street, Hartford. I'm here today on behalf of International Hartford, who have been dedicated to the establishment of my business model and brand. As any good thing that grows, a cleanup and clear out was necessary first. A treacherous endeavor in a rough neighborhood. But I remember testifying a year ago that this was just my intention. Well, it is International Hartford that has afforded me the perseverance and fortitude to push through this past year. And as you know, the first year in any business is the hardest. I can look forward to their further assistance to bringing my dreams and current aspirations to completion. They continue to help us navigate these ever-changing processes in this business arena. I hereby ask for their allocation not to be reduced. Please afford them what they need to continue this well-needed work. It is always a pleasure. Thank you as always.
Thank you. Next to speak, Evelyn Ruiz. Evelyn Ruiz.
Good evening, Council. My name is Evelyn Ruiz. I'm the owner of Hasta Luego Front, a mobile cafe trailer here in Hartford, a client of International Hartford. I'm currently in the process of expanding into my first brick and mortar location, which is a huge step for me, both personally and professionally. This journey wouldn't have been possible with the support of International Hartford. Though their program, I received a micro grant guidance and the lease process and helping me secure a new space here on Wethersfield Avenue, 65 Wethersfield Avenue. I'm incredibly grateful for that support. It opened doors I couldn't have access on my own. At the same time, I want to be real. $5,000 isn't enough to open a cafe. It's a start, a meaningful one, but one that a small business owner like me still face steep challenges covering build-out costs, equipment, permits, and daily operating expenses. That's why continued expanded investment in small business support is so critical. I encourage you to prioritize funding for programs that go beyond seed money, ones that offer technical assistance, larger grants, lower interest loans, access to city resources for those that are committed here and growing in Hartford. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next to speak, Council President Surgeon.
Mr. Reese, did you said you were, hi Evelyn, you said you were opening the business on 65 Wethersfield Avenue? Yes. And did you hear about the mayor's program for small businesses for build-out cost on Wethersfield Avenue? No. All right, if you could share your contact information with one of our staff, okay. I'll have somebody reach out to you. All right, thanks. All right.
Okay, next to speak, Lori Perry and Savannah Gask.
Hello, everyone. I stand here representing International Hartford. My name is Lori Perry. I'm a Hartford resident. I am a proud owner of Lori's Kitchen, a new food truck serving fresh and comforting meals with love. I'm writing this letter with a heart full of gratitude to thank the World Market International Hartford for the incredible support they've given me and my small business. Starting the food truck was a big dream, but finding a place to consistently set up and serve my community was one of the hardest parts. That is, until I was introduced to the World Market International Hartford. From that moment on, everything changed. Through their help, I was able to secure a location at Hartford Hospital during the second shift from the hours of 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. That opportunity allowed me to meet and serve so many wonderful people, doctors, nurses, CNA, hospital staff, even the patients and families at the emergency room. My business began to grow, and I started to build relationship with all different type of people of all different walks. World Market International didn't just help me find a spot for my food truck. They helped me grow in so many other areas as well. Through their network and support, I've been able to gain catering jobs, enroll in a business literacy program. I'm so excited, to help strengthen my knowledge and skill as an entrepreneur. They offer so much more than just a place to park your truck. They help build your future. World Market International Hartford didn't just stop at giving me a location. They've gone above and beyond in every way. They encouraged me to apply for a micro grant to help expand my business. Whether I receive it or not, just the opportunity meant so much. I also had the honor of meeting amazing people like Art Feldman, Erwin Hertz Jr., Richie and David. These men truly care about the vendors they support. They listen, they show up, and they act. When my generator fell during a shift, they came out and brought me another generator so that I wouldn't lose business. That's who they are, people who show up when you need it the most. This organization is essential to our community. They empower small business owners like myself, and they create opportunities that change lives. I am forever grateful for their help, and I hope with all my heart that they continue to receive the support they need so that they can keep helping others like me. Thank you so much, World Market International Hartford, and thank you to everyone who believes in the work they're doing. Because of you, Lori's Kitchen is not just a food truck, it's a dream in motion. Thank you.
Next to speak, Noel Forbes and Mary Brown.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a bit host right now. I never write a script, but I can talk for my brainwave that I get from Mr. Hart and his crew. I came here to start to run a food truck. And the food truck was successful, but I get some push around by the rest of restaurants around me. So I have to move. Mr. Hart, I heard about Mr. Hart, and I go and see them. They try their best, and if I find a location, they say, find a location. I find a location, they come and look at it, and they help me bring that business together. But I have a struggle there on Albany Avenue, 8581 Albany Avenue. There was a lot of guys out there doing what they have to do. I have to be careful what I talk about. Customers are afraid to come there. My food is good, great. People love it. But sometimes customers come there, there are a lot of shooting. Customers stop come there. And they continue to help me, They go above and beyond to help me. I have to move. Right now, Mr. Hart and his crew and his members, they're trying to locate me to a different place right now because they're still looking out for me. I can't do nothing without them. They are the best people, the best I see. They encourage me, now while your food is good, come back. We're going to find you at next place. You have to be here. And thank you, Mr. Hart and Shelby. You're the greatest, man. Thank you.
Next to speak, Christian Minaya.
Good evening. I am Christian Minaya. I'm open the restaurant 2 years and a half ago, and the reason what I'm here is because I'm trying to get the art help me a lot. I'm trying to get the parking lot for my business. My business is located 446 New Britain Avenue. But my business is not, doesn't have a parking lot, so it's really hard to people's coming to my restaurant because it's not a parking lot. No, my business is like on the building, but now it's a little bit slow. You know, I have receiving a lot of complaints for my business because they told me you don't have any parking lot. So especially after like 4 o'clock, it's really, really slow for me. So that's why I am here to trying to find how I can get, you know, the parking lot for my business. So next to my business is like the library. So the library has a parking lot. I'm trying to, you know, rent our parking lot or know how I can do that one. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Next to speak, Lashonda Charles.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. My name is LaShonda Charles. I am the owner of The Honey Pot, where we serve authentic West Indian and soul food cuisine. International Hartford has just begun to point me in the correct direction. Over the past several months, I have had the short time of joining their financial literacy program. The impact has already been powerful. They provided me with access to different resources and childcare at the same time for my disabled twins. Not only was I able to assist and have dinner and serve my fellow colleagues, but I was also able to have my children in childcare at the same time. That support has made it possible for me to focus more on my dreams and the business. Through their guidance, I've started to learn how to grow my business, how to make lasting impact in my community, and pursue what I truly love, which is cooking. I've begun sharing this information and tools with my family to also break the generational curse and struggle. We want to encourage them to take advantage of the same opportunities that I have been and started with. This is only the beginning, but I feel like my life is changing for the better, and I am excited to see what's next. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Next to speak, Nilda Morales Rivera.
Good evening. My name is Nilda Morales, and I'm the director for the Hispanic Senior Center and El Centro Family Center, a Catholic charity, Archdiocese of Hartford. Catholic charities run the Hispanic Senior Center at our Institute for the Hispanic Family at 45 Wadsworth in Hartford. Monday through Friday, every day, the program serves between 40 and 45 seniors, providing services such as health screening, case management, benefit enrollment assistance, cultural activities, recreational field trip, educational information, and other activities. In addition, the seniors are providing a hot nutritional lunch every day. The purpose of the Senior Center is to help seniors maintain their independence and reduce isolation and live a healthy lifestyle. I'm here today because there has been significant cut to the fundings for the lunches for the seniors. Lunches for the Hispanic Senior Center are provided by the Hartford CAP agency with fundings from the Early Nutrition Program. Due to a reduction in fundings from the Early Nutrition Program, as of July 1st, we'll no longer receive the full complement of lunches. The fundings will only cover lunches for our seniors 3 days a week instead of 5 of those days. They are only able to provide a maximum of 28 meals. This reduction significantly affects our seniors because the rest of the seniors, we need to provide something for them. If we do not identify the required fundings by July 1st, we will have to make some changes. First, we will need to force to cap the daily census of 28 for the 3 days we have lunch, provide insurance, everyone has a meal. This means that we have to rotate seniors in the program. Each day between 12 to 17 seniors will not be able to attend because we cannot have seniors at the center for daily without a meal. Second, for the other 2 days there are no fundings for lunch, we will have to program only half a day until the lunch time, and the seniors will have to go home because there will not be meal for them, and not to accept new seniors. In addition, we do not have in there with additional costs the program in the coming months. Currently, we anticipate the funds needed to restore the full meal program to be approximately $200,000 for the next fiscal year, July 1st, 2025 to June 30, 2026. It will be terrible to have to make these changes to our program because we know that the seniors of our seniors, the lunch at the Hispanic Senior Center is the only meal that they have daily. In addition, not be able to have all the seniors come each day, they only have days twice a week. We meet the seniors with less socialization, and they will be home more, increasing the risk of isolation, depression, and anxiety. Additionally, many of our seniors have medical conditions, and coming to the program's meal to staff can be helped and monitor them and intervene if needed. The seniors frequently have got medical issues when attending the program, and we have able to help them, and then got medical attention that they need right away. If they were home alone those days, the outcomes may have been much worse. This situation is also confusing and upsetting for the seniors as well. This is the time where they should be enjoying their life and not having to worry about being able to eat. We care deeply about the population, and to have to make these changes would be devastating. I hope you can help us find the funds needed to care for this very important population of seniors. Thank you for your time. And finally, this is a situation that is happening too at the Parkville Center. Thank you.
Thank you. Next to speak, Luis Enrique.
Thank you, members of the City Council. Seniors don't need tears when they die. They want hugs, love, laughter, care while they're still alive. We need the City Council to take a look at our issues and please help. Thank you.
Thank you. Next to speak, Pedro Pimienta.
Good evening, distinguished City of Hartford council members. I stand before you in behalf of the Hartford Spanish Senior Center, hoping to reach in the most sensible of your hearts. We are facing a very serious situation with the elderly nutrition program due to the lack of funds. In a short time, we run out of money, and then many seniors will be left out without food. We are people of the third age, the most vulnerable population in the city, but we refuse to give up. Instead, we live a very active life in this senior center. We would like to reach within your heart sensibility and humanity, asking you for help in this urgent matter. For many seniors, like myself, this is the only meal of the day. We give you all the anticipated thanks for the attention you give to this urgent matter. Thank you, and God bless you.
Next to speak, Somer Sivets.
Hello. First timer here, so bear with me. Hello, my name is Summer Sivets, and I'm the Director of Development and Communications at the Chrysalis Center. I'm here today to express strong support for Chrysalis Center's Community Development Block Grant, the CDBG, for about $25,000 to support our La Cocina Culinary Arts Program, a transformative workforce development initiative serving Hartford residents. This funding will directly support the salary expense for training 40 Hartford participants, individuals who are returning citizens or underemployed and who are seeking the opportunity to build new futures through skills building and employment. La Cocina Culinary Arts Program offers a structured, hands-on, 8-week curriculum that provides expert culinary training through an institutional kitchen and real-world experience. Students gain essential food service skills while preparing for and earning Serve Safe Food Handler and Serve Safe Manager certifications, making them competitive candidates in the food industry right here in Hartford. The next program is our HPA program. I'm here to express strong support for HPA. This is a Greater Hartford Community Housing and Health Services. We're requesting funding continuing to provide tenant-based rental assistance for supportive services for low-income individuals and families living with HIV and AIDS, and who face some of the greatest barriers to stable housing and health in our community. Through HPA, Chrysalis Center is able to bridge the affordability gap. This year, we will provide rental assistance to 24 individuals, allowing them to live a safe, decent housing while contributing an income-based portion of their rent. Lastly, we will also be talking about HPA again for our St. Philip's House, which is a scattered program. This project represents a vital transformation in how we serve individuals and families living with HIV and AIDS, especially those who are experiencing mental illness, substance abuse, and homelessness. The St. Philip House operates under a scattered site housing model grounded in the belief that housing choice, individualized care, and community integration is essential for healing, stability, and self-sufficiency. I think that's so good. Thank you.
Thank you. Next to speak on the screen, Sue Gunderman.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sue Gunderman. I am the Program Operations Director for Community Partners in Action, located on 110 Bartholomew Ave, Suite 3010 in Hartford. I want to thank you all for giving me a chance to speak this evening. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Chair, City Council President, Surgeon, and all the council members in attendance for this meeting. I'd also like to thank the Community Development Block Grant Committee for your commitment and support of reentry services for our returning residents here in the city of Hartford. We truly appreciate and value this commitment and collaboration. The Reentry Welcome Center is a centralized hub of reentry services in the city of Hartford. It's led by Community Partners in Action. The city of Hartford is a strategic partner, and there are 30 to 40 other community partners woven around the center for wraparound supports to our participants. Before the center was established, people were dropped off on our city street corners, and that was how reentry happened prior to 2018. Since opening our doors in September of 2018, first at City Hall and now over on 716 Windsor Street, we have been able to help over 2,700 returning residents. People address, where we address individual needs when they return home from incarceration on their day of release, in addition to people walking in who have been impacted by the criminal justice system. We truly, through our variety of programs at the center, we provide case management, pre-release supports whenever possible, to ensure on anyone's day of release, being transported to us from the Department of Correction. That was a policy change. When they come to us, we connect them, get their IDs, provide basic needs. You know, when somebody comes out of incarceration, what do they have but a bag of their belongings returning home? And so we connect them to our partners, everyone in the community. We ensure that they get connected to job training, employment, housing. Housing is one of our greatest challenges. There are so many people who are homeless in our city, and I'm preaching to the choir, but there are so many people leaving the Department of Correction into homelessness in our city, and so we try our best to connect them to the CAN services, to connect them to our partners, to stabilize them so they can be productive in our community. In September, in the summer of 2023, we started experiencing a high volume of people coming through our doors in the city of Hartford. And what we did is we started a service path. We created 2 service paths so that we could help everyone. There are people that want case management and more intensive services, and there are others that I just need an ID to get a job. And so we pivoted to ensure that we could help everyone walking through our doors, whether they were transported to us from the Department of Correction on their day of release, or anyone coming to us walk in, whether they were incarcerated in pre-trial, in whatever state, Maybe it's a family member connected to someone who's been impacted by the criminal justice system. It is our goal that everyone who comes to the center leaves better than they came. And so we meet them where they are. We provide whatever support we can. And the funding that you provide to us really helps us to ensure that we can help as many people as possible. And so I'm just here to say thank you on behalf of the agency. With your continued support, we are able to provide the necessary services to our returning residents who need to be successful here in our community. And I just thank you for giving me the opportunity to express our gratitude and our continued collaboration working together. So just thank you.
Thank you. Next to speak, Janet Freemuth.
Good evening. I appreciate this opportunity, and sorry, my voice is, I think it's the pollen. My name is Janet Frymuth. I serve as the Executive Director of Children in Placement. Our organization is dedicated to advocating for the welfare of Connecticut's abused and neglected children within the child welfare and judicial systems. We operate our regional office at Constitution Plaza in Hartford, while our administrative office is situated in New Haven. For the past 45 years, Children in Placement has been committed to recruiting, training, and supporting volunteer advocates who act as guardians ad litem in court. These advocates provide essential assistance to hundreds of child victims throughout the state each year. We're the only organization focused on this vital mission, often working behind the scenes within the court system and in collaboration with the Department of Children and Families. It is important to highlight, unlike DCF caseworkers and attorneys who manage multiple cases, our volunteers concentrate on providing personalized attention by handling just 1 or 2 cases at a time. Additionally, unlike attorney guardians ad litem, our volunteer GALs focus not just on legal matters, but also on the overall well-being of the child. They thoroughly assess the child's situation, provide recommendations to the court, and ensure the child's perspective is acknowledged throughout the legal proceedings. Their commitment helps to uphold the child's best interest by addressing not only legal concerns, but also their physical, emotional, social, and educational needs. In 2022, the latest available statistics, Hartford reported over 5,000 cases of abuse and neglect, with 2,400 cases accepted for intervention. Each year, our team works diligently to meet the fundamental needs of children and families in our care, often exceeding our typical responsibilities. It is essential to recognize that poverty frequently contributes to the cycle of abuse and neglect. Families facing financial difficulties often struggle to access vital resources and support services, which can heighten stress within the home. Economic hardship can exacerbate family tensions and increase the risk of abuse or neglectful behavior. In Hartford, as in many large cities, a significant number of families live at or below the poverty line, with estimates suggesting that 1 in 4 residents falls into this category. Alarmingly, this figure rises to over 1 in 3 children. Therefore, addressing poverty is vital in reducing the risk factors linked to child maltreatment, as alleviating financial burdens can help foster safer and more supportive environments for children and their families. Research shows that involving a GAL volunteer in child protection cases results in improved outcomes. Families and children often receive more court-mandated services, cases are more frequently resolved permanently, and children achieve stability more quickly than in cases without GAL involvement. Unfortunately, CIP receives less than half of its funding from the state, making it essential to rely on support from municipalities and other sources to sustain this crucial service. This funding will enhance our efforts to recruit new guardians ad litem volunteer advocates and provide the necessary staff support to handle the cases we take on. Most importantly, our volunteers serve as a steadfast voice committed to advocating for the best interests of children. They diligently ensure the child's safety and offer unwavering support throughout the court process. Our volunteers are dedicated to removing any obstacles that may impede the child's path to a safe and permanent home. Thank you for considering our request. Any questions?
Thank you. Next to speak is Braden Ransom.
Good evening. My name is Braden Ransom. I'm the Community Impact Manager for the Health Collective, and I want to share a bit about our Community Health Worker program that launched this past December. We started the program during the pandemic when it became painfully clear how many people in Hartford did not have access to local trusted health supports. So we built a training program for residents, especially those who are already involved in the community, to become public health advocates. We provided participants with free laptops with a monthly stipend, training in CPR, suicide prevention, and OSHA safety. These individuals also received over 100 hours of hands-on experience, from mentorships to job shadowing to outreach. Each student will present a capstone project based on real health effects within their communities. So we're talking about our backyards, our neighbors. We started with 21 applicants, and 4 outstanding participants will graduate next month, and they may go on to continue to work in the health force. As a Hartford resident, I can tell you that this work matters. It's empowering individuals who know their communities best to step up and make a change. As you allocate funds, I encourage you to support programs like this that are rooted in the community. Programs like this are powerful, and they work best when the city invests in them. Thank you.
Thank you. That was the last speaker that has signed up. Is there anyone here? And I warn you, we do have a 7 o'clock public hearing, so we have 7 minutes to spare right now. So one more speaker? All right. Please state your name.
Good evening, Board. My name is Evan Anthony. I live at 4 Weathersfield Avenue. I'm a newbie here in Hartford of 2.5 years. I took it upon myself to come in and restore some of the most fabulous architecture I've seen, and I've now completed 2 of them. And without the help of Hartford International's organization, who brought the biggest and biggest piece of the puzzle, and that was the operators. From Evelyn to Noah to whomever else may come to use these buildings that I painfully and with all my heart restored, because I want to be a part of the Hartford's movement. I'm a New Englander. I moved down to Florida. I sold all my property and came back to Hartford, and I've dedicated myself to Hartford. But without this team, that is the piece that was missing. So if we can help people that need it, and tonight, the testimony that's been given is so heartwarming as an American that it restored my faith in we need each other. As this board needs us, we need you. So I highly recommend whatever it is, because I'm not sure, I just was getting into my car and saw Evelyn. I'm here to help, and with honor. So thank you.
Thank you. Seeing that we have already finished our list of speakers, I thank you all for coming and speaking on behalf of your particular organization. Thank you, Ms. Horowitz, for your presentation again. And I call this meeting now adjourned.
food is good. Good evening. Oh, you might as well, you're here. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the hybrid public hearing. Today is April 21st, 2025. I'm Councilwoman Shirley Surgeon, and I'm chairing the public hearing tonight. Those on the public hearing are Councilman T.J. Clark, Councilman Billadu, Councilman Gale. Oh, Councilman Gale, you're on the committee tonight. And Councilman Josh Mitchum is going to stay with us, and also his Councilman Emil Carr is going to just stay with us. So it's going to be a very long meeting. I think you guys were, giving up your evening, one more even, also with the budget hearing starting tomorrow. So let me say a few house cleaning items that we need to address, and how the public hearing is conducted. And so it is conducted with each person wishing to address the council or the committee, therefore shall, upon recognition of the president of the council, give his or her name, address, and if he or she represents a group, shall in addition state for the record the name and address of said group, organization, and shall limit his or her remark to 5 minutes. And Councilman Gale is going to be our timekeeper tonight. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body and not to each council member. Any person making personal slanderous remark or becomes boisterous while addressing the council shall be forthwith barred by the presiding officer from further audience at said meeting unless permission to remain is granted by 2/3 vote of the council members present and voting. During the public hearing, there shall be no debate by the council, although questions may be asked by the council of person making such presentation. So we have 2 items on the agenda, and I did forget to, during my opening speech, to remind everyone that the public hearing is being televised by our Hartford Public Access Television Station on Channel 96 and Channel 632, Comcast/Xfinity and Frontier. Now, there are 2 items on the agenda at the public hearing tonight. Items 2.1, the first item is a resolution from Mayor Arulampalam to enter into a purchase and sales agreement for the sale of the parcel of 17 and 21 Wells Street. So as I said, I did give a little house cleaning on how everyone will be able to speak. So if there is anyone here speaking in favor of items 2.1, anyone here speaking in favor of items 2.1? Anyone here in favor of speaking on items 2.1? Seeing no one speaking in favor, let's go to see if anybody's here speaking against item 2.1. Are there anyone here speaking against items 2.1? Are there anyone here speaking against item 2.1? Seeing that no one is speaking for or against items 2.1, let's go on to the second item on the agenda, items 2.2. And that is an ordinance sponsored by Councilman John Gale and Councilman Amilcar Hernandez. Amending Chapter 31, Article 3, Section 31-87 and 31-95 of the Municipal Code of Hartford to preserve the safety of city streets and sidewalks, post-construction by utilities and others, and post-pre-paving by the city. And that is an ordinance again sponsored by Councilman John Gale and Councilman Emil Carr, and that's items 2.2. So, is anybody here speaking in favor of items 2.2? Anyone here speaking in favor of items 2.2? Anyone here speaking in favor of items 2.2? Seeing and hearing no one in favor of items 2.2, let's see if there's anybody here speaking against items 2.2. Is there anyone speaking against items 2.2? Is one here speaking against items 2.2? Seeing that we have no one speaking for or against items 2.2, and that was the only two items on the agenda for the public hearing tonight, I am now calling the hearing adjourned.